Goodbyes this whole time.
Okay, well, I'm ready to start lesson 9.2 now. So, lesson 9.2 is still quadratic functions and their graphs. So we're still graphing what shape? The U shape?
Yeah.
Called a, do you remember the official name?
Parabola.
Parabola? Yeah, that one, exactly. Okay, so it's that U shape, that parabola. So it's still that. What we're looking at today are the parabolas that are not centered on the y-axis. And so where we have to figure out where they're centered. So as you look at this, first of all the parabolas we look at today will be based on the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And when you put that bx term in there, that's when these parabolas are no longer centered right there on the, we have to move it. So, first thing we're going to be doing, my axis of symmetry is no longer x equals 0. We have to find that axis of symmetry. Nice part is, it's a nice basic formula. Okay? So, axis of symmetry, x equals negative b over 2a. We're going to use that. Once we know our axis of symmetry, we can use that to help us find our vertex. So, the first example asks us to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. First things first, we have to find the axis of symmetry. What's the formula for axis of symmetry again?
I don't know, it's just the line that divides into two halves.
The formula for axis of symmetry that's right up above on this page.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, you're making that way too difficult. X equals negative b over 2a?
Yeah.
Now, before we get started there, let's, can we talk about our ABCs?
Yeah.
I like to talk about my ABCs here. If it is ax squared plus bx plus c, what is a? What is the number in front of x squared?
1.
Invisible 1. Good. What is b?
B is negative 4.
Okay, the number in front of x is negative 4. And what is c? C is the number added or subtracted without an x, and so c is 1. Okay? That's a big thing right there. You have to know your ABCs to do this class. Okay? So let's fill in our formula here. X equals negative b over 2a. So negative, what's b?
Negative 4.
Negative 4 over 2 times, what's a? 1.
No, yeah.
Nope, you got it. What do we mean for the negative of negative 4?
That's going to be positive.
Yeah, when you do the opposite of a negative, it is a positive 4. 2 times 1 is 2. And what's 4 divided by 2? 2. So right there, we just found our axis of symmetry to be 2. So I'm going to write this in boxes so we can find it later. Our axis is x equals 2. And when you see me write axis, realize that's just me shorthanding axis of symmetry. Okay, so that's half the problem. What else did they ask me to find? The vertex. So, if you think about the graphs we did last week, the vertex is on the axis of symmetry. And so before we do any work, let's talk about what we already know. My vertex is going to be an ordered pair. What do we already know about the vertex without doing any work whatsoever?
It is on the line.
It's on the axis of symmetry, right?
Yes. But
And what is my axis of symmetry?
2.
It's x equals 2. Which one is the x value here?
The first.
The first one. So because my axis of symmetry was 2, or in other words, x equals 2, I know my vertex is 2, comma something. So this 2 right here goes right there. Thoughts on how I find the other part of this vertex? How can I find my y value?
I don't know.
Don't know. What was our original problem here?
Like, x to the second minus 4x plus 1.
Is there a way that that could help me find my y value?
Yeah.
What is 2? 2 is an x value, right? We're trying to find y. What can I do with that 2?
I don't know.
If 2 is x, take 2 and plug it in for
Oh,
x.
2x to the second.
So if it's y equals, okay, replace your x's with 2. So if it's x squared, we're going to say 2 squared minus 4x. So I'm going to say minus 4 times 2 plus 1. Do the math with me. What is 2 squared? 4. Minus 4 times 2? 8. Plus 1. 4 minus 8 plus 1.
-3.
4 minus 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Hey, guess where that goes?
In the y.
Yeah. This is my y value.
Okay, that's part of it.
It's not horrible. I mean, the hardest part is just not making math mistakes. I think that's the hardest part right now. Okay, so we used our formula to find our axis of symmetry. Then we plugged that in to find our vertex. Okay. You start the next one without me?
Maybe.
That's fine. Nope, that's fine. Okay. I'm going to annoy myself, but I'm just going to write with it down here. So, okay. Let's start talking about our ABCs.
Is 2x.
Don't give me an X on it, just the number in front.
Yeah.
So A is
Just 2.
negative 2.
Yeah.
What's B?
-8.
Negative 8. And C is
-3.
negative 3. Okay. What's my formula for axis of symmetry? X equals
-b over 2a.
negative B over 2A. Nothing fancy, it's right here. So do the math. Negative of B.
It's going to be -8
Yeah, negative of 8 over 2
times -3.
times A. 2 times A,
Oh, A.
which is negative 2.
I don't know what I was doing.
I don't know either. Okay, what does negative of negative 8 mean? It's going to be positive 8. 2 times negative 2?
Oh, wait, no.
Negative, because it's positive times negative.
My brain just went to -2.
8 divided by negative 4? Negative 2. So that tells me right here that my axis of symmetry is what? Now, do me a favor. Let me make the point now. Don't just tell me negative 2.
Oh, x
It's-
equals negative.
Yeah, and I know it sounds like I'm being nitpicky, but it's the equation of that line, of that vertical line, so that's why we need to say x equals the number. Okay, so what are we trying to find now? We're trying to find our,
Y value.
our y value and our vertex. Right now, if I have to write my vertex, I know I'm going to write
Negative 2.
-2. -2, comma, something. To find my y value, well, what do we have here? -2x squared minus 8x minus 3. So, let's plug the value in. So I'm going to write it out. -2 times, what's x?
2.
-2
Yeah.
squared minus 8 times -2 minus 3. Start with those exponents first. What is -2 raised to the second?
Negative 4.
Almost.
4.
4. -2 times -2 is going to be 4.
Oh, yeah.
And then 4 times the other -2.
Negative 8.
-8. And then it's -8 times -2. What's -8 times -2? Plus 16. And then minus 3. -8 plus 16.
8.
8. Minus 3.
5.
5. And so y is 5. So what do we know?
2, -2, and 5.
-2 and 5. Where are we at on time?
It's 46 right now.
I'm wondering. So we could go ahead and try the next one. Or I could stop here, let you work on what you can in the homework, and I can finish notes tomorrow. Either way, I'm doing some more tomorrow. Do you want me to try the graph or wait until tomorrow? Oh, wait. There's not a backside, is there?
Just 2 more.
It's how you start flip. It's like, oh, wait. Maybe I need to totally replan this. But no, that's right. It's something different. You want to try and just practice some axis of symmetry and vertices here in the last little bit of class?
Sure.
Okay.
Perfect. So
And then tomorrow, yeah, the assignment should be available in Math Excel. And then tomorrow we'll go through the graphic. Okay?